Coming up in this show tonight, we're asking you, what is your purpose? Now, if you're sitting at home unsure, then don't worry, this episode is going to help you to find out. Tonight's guest was unsure of who they were and what they were doing, which led to a lack of motivation in discovering their true passions. But with the help of God, they managed to change their mindset, and tonight they're sitting on our sofa ready to tell you how you too can find your purpose and start living your best life. Stay tuned for the full story.
Good evening and welcome to Finances Show. Tonight, we want to talk about purpose in life. Do you have a purpose in life? Do you believe there is such a thing as purpose for one's life? Or you just think that, we live life and we just live as, life presents itself? What should we think about this? Or how should we react or act towards this? We are going to show you now life-changing stories of people who are living their lives without a purpose, who are living their lives aimlessly. But through the power of faith, when they found the genuine faith, the faith which transforms, the faith which changes one's life, these people found a beautiful purpose for their lives. And now they are making the most of it. Watch now.
I felt that my dad he didn't care, he was selfish. He felt like if he came and he would buy things, it was fine. But he couldn't sit down with his children and, ask them how they were or if they were going through anything. He was never there. I saw my dad cheating on my mum. I saw him being very violent with my mum as well, because I remember at one point my mum locked him out the house, and what happened was that he punched through the window to open the window of the house so he could get in, and the mum had to call the police. The police got involved, the police took him away, and I don't know where he slept, but he didn't sleep in the house. Because I saw that my dad was the problem of the house. He was the one that would hurt my mum and cause the arguments. When my mum told me that he left, I didn't feel any way about it, to be honest. I didn't feel like, he shouldn't have gone, No, I felt like, what, he's gone, maybe things can change now. In secondary school, who I was someone who I didn't care about my education. I didn't really care about anything really, except for, girls, and being involved with what you would call fun. Like I wanted to do everything. I wanted to try everything. I wanted to go parties. I wanted to, hang around with my friends. It meant that I wasn't studying. I wasn't, spending time with my family and, building a relationship with my brothers or any of that. It was kind of like I was just focusing on my social life and my friends and what they were doing, what they believed was, cool. I started off secondary school a very shy person, very closed off, because of what I went through in primary school. And then, so they kind of helped me to try out different things and be experimental. My studies were, the thing is, I would do tests and then I would always fail my tests. They would get me these like personal tutors, and when I would sit down with the personal tutors, they would teach me how to do things, and then once they taught me, I would kind of catch on to it quickly. My personal tutor even looked at me and he was like, "Why are you failing? You shouldn't be failing." When I finished my GCSEs, I ended up with 2 BTECs and 1 GCSE. When I got to that point, I felt like, I didn't know where I was going to end up in life. I didn't know whether I was going to have a future. I realized I needed to get help. I didn't think it was a possibility for me to get help until I ended up coming to the youth group. And when I came to the youth group, that's when I started seeing, that youths were achieving things, you know. Youths were moving forward with their lives. Youths were happy. They felt fulfilled. They felt like, you know, they knew where they was going, because that was one thing that really got to me, that I didn't know where I was going to end up in the future. I didn't know what was going to happen with my life. One thing that really stuck out, that made me want to change, was the pastors and their wives. Because I grew up seeing my mum and my dad always arguing, and I saw my dad being unfaithful to my mum, I kind of saw relationships in a way that every relationship had an expiring date. Every relationship was going to end at one point. Like, marriage was something that you would only see in the films. But then when I saw that, you know, marriages, like happy marriages existed, people would stay together, and, you know, men were faithful to their wives, that was one thing that really stuck out to me. I couldn't believe it. You know, I was thinking to myself, if my dad was like this, you know, I think I would be the happiest person in the world. And that's when I decided, you know what, you know, life can really change. You know, I can have a better life. You know, I don't have to fail. And then when I started reading the promises of God, how, you know, God was with you, that you didn't have to be alone, that, you know, I started to feel like I could speak to someone. Finally, I could, you know, open up to someone about, like, with everything that I was going through. I started to learn that my dad was, like, he's human, and, you know, he has his flaws, like, just like me or anyone else. So, me and my dad were clean, you know, no grudges towards him. Me, right now, I know where I'm going. Like, each day, I know where I'm going. Like, I know what I have to do to go towards the direction that I want to go. I'm seeing all different areas of my life, you know, starting to really develop. You know, my family is right now, they're more united. You know, I'm building a relationship with my brothers. My mom is really, my mom and my brothers, they come to the church as well. I don't want my life to end.
As you've just watched, one more person whose life has been transformed through the power of faith. And Finances is a show that we show how people have had their lives transformed when they learned about faith. Faith has nothing to do with a religion, has nothing to do with following a doctrine. No, that's not the aim of Finances. Finances is a show whose aim is to promote real life change to its viewers. Rachel, good evening.
Good evening, Pastor.
We are talking about purpose in life. What is your view about tonight's theme?
Well, I think that asking someone what their purpose is such a hugely daunting question that it's no wonder so many of us would struggle to answer. But if we swap purpose for passions, people are much more likely to be able to reel off a load of things that they're passionate about. In fact, psychologists urge us all to break up with the idea that we have one purpose in life. Instead, they say that we should try many different things and find out which ones, so that's plural, bring you the most happiness and fulfillment. And in order to do this, we need to ensure that we say yes to as many opportunities as possible. So the more things that we try and the more things that we act on, the closer we get to discovering our true passions. And if we spend time enjoying our passions, we're then going to live a life of purpose. So tonight, what I want you all to do at home is to write out all of the things, big and small, that you're passionate or curious about, and I want you to make sure that you set a timeline to try these all out. And you might find that you already know what your purpose is, or should I say what your purposes are. What do you think, Pastor? Do you think that purpose comes down to passion? Do you have many purposes in life, or do you think you have one?
I've got many purposes in life, of course, but Rachel, I would say that purpose is really a matter of choosing, making right choices, because at the end of the day, Rachel, we've known that we've seen through experience that life is pretty much about choices. Obviously, we all go through difficult circumstances. We all have gone through bad circumstances, bad situations, bad moments. But it was our choice to make that situation which was bad to turn into something positive, to turn into something good, which obviously can cause a good purpose in life. So purpose in life is really a matter of choice.
I like what you're saying there about the kind of the way that you think about things, the way that you can turn a bad situation into something good. Because I think that if you do have this positive mindset, then you do see things as sort of opportunities rather than, you know, a closed door. You'll see this door as being open. It's in the same way that maybe somebody will take the risk of moving abroad to try and get the job that they love. But if you go with the mindset that you might not get this job and then it's a failure, then if you don't get this job, it's a failure. Whereas if you go with the mindset that I'm going to go to this new place and experience something new and learn some new skills and maybe discover something about myself that I didn't know, then it's never going to be a failure. It's always going to be a success in some way. So I think it is kind of as well about just changing our perspective in terms of giving ourselves purpose. What do you think?
Yes, Rachel went to the streets of London and she spoke to the general public. Now let's hear what the public had to say about purpose in life.
What's your purpose in life?
So I would say my purpose in life is to constantly always be happy. I think that's a good way to be. I try and make my life as simple as possible, try not to always see the positive. I'm a very half glass full kind of girl. So yeah, I think try and always be happy, try and always have fun as well, make everything quite playful. Always be active, try and do stuff as much as possible, have things planned. Friendships, relationships, whatever that may be, just keeping as happy as possible.
To reproduce, to live, to succeed, to live life. Don't know what else really, that's the only thing I can say about that.
I like that. And what would you say your passions are?
Life, living, adventure, seeing things that you've never seen, cultures, loads of little different things around life really.
What's my purpose in life? To be a good person. To try and do something little every day that helps someone else. And yeah, just kind of like focus on doing what I can to spread good things in my little world, yeah.
I think just be happy in life and to make sure my family and my friends are all happy, and yeah, that's about it really.
It's 42.
What does that mean?
Have you read the Douglas Adams? The Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy. It's a book.
I've heard
and yeah, I think he asked the question, what's the ultimate answer to life, universe and everything? The answer was 42. So that's my purpose.
Good evening and welcome back to our program Finding Answers. And as we showed you earlier, the topic for tonight is about purpose in life. And I have here Antoinette. Antoinette, good evening.
Good evening, Pastor.
So just to give our our viewers a preview of what used to be your life before, because the topic tonight is about having purpose in life. Can you say that before you learned how to use your faith, you know what you want in life, you have a direction, you know your purpose? Can you say this?
I kind of had an idea of my purpose in life, but I kind of got lost after a while because I was doing everything by my own strength. I was making decisions whereby I thought it was the good decision because I was introduced to many things when I became a teenager, into my career, into many other things, like into fashion, because I wanted to be in the fashion industry. So I thought I was going in the right direction of my, purpose in life, but it didn't turn out
Everything
to be.
collapsed, isn't
Everything
it?
collapsed.
And I believe you were disappointed, isn't
Very.
it? Look, Antoinette, we're going to be talking more about this, but just for you to know, people, can you see, Antoinette knows, she has an idea of what she wanted in life. She even had a dream like many people have, but then it seems like, you know, everything just collapsed. And we have here, as you know, Rachel. Rachel, how many people has this dilemma as well? They have dreams, they have hopes, even talents they have, but then along the way, they start, because of difficulties, they lose vision of their life, and they start making mistakes.
Yeah, it happens to so many people, and there are many reasons for this. We compare ourselves to others, we're told by different people what we should be doing, and it's easy to lose track of who we are and what we want to do. And it is important, I think, to go back actually to our childhood and to try to remember the person that we were then and what we enjoyed doing, because actually a lot, that can tell us a lot just from what we enjoyed as a child to what maybe we'd still enjoy doing as an adult. Before our brains were filled with so many different outlets, especially with media and things today. We're constantly thinking and overthinking about everything we're doing. So I think it is important to do that.
I believe that many children, if you ask them, it's like they are so lively, isn't it? Because of so many dreams, there is nothing impossible for a child. I mean, their imagination is so high. It's like they can do anything. But, you know, when they're introduced to the negativities of their surroundings, sometimes these things change, isn't it?
It's true, it's true. We need to teach children that negativities, that setbacks, that maybe rejection, these things aren't negative things. These are actually positive things and shouldn't stop you going for what you want to do. I think that's one thing we need to encourage children.
Yes, and tonight, my friends, we're going to be talking about this. Pastor Douglas is with us, and we're going to be sharing with you the story of Antoinette and what we have to do in order to change this situation. So we will be back after this break.
I was depressed for many years, but not anymore. And now it's my turn to help you lead a happier and healthier life.
Watch The Chrissy B Show on MyTV.
Melting polar ice caps, droughts, and rising sea levels. Climate change brings global disasters, and human activities are part of the problem. But people around the world are looking for ways to address the threat.
Watch Global 3000 on MyTV. The Day provides current news and affairs background analysis.
A growing number of migrants crossed the Serbian-Hungarian border.
There is no doubt about it.
Understand top stories, get professional expertise, statistics and video footage that will give a full insight into the world's most recent issues. Get information in its most complete form. Watch The Day on MyTV. Meet the amazing SUV Jaguar, the stylish Fiat, a vintage VW, a sporty Honda, and the Green Smart ED. Drive it, test it, know it. We have cars for any taste. Explore vehicles and their features with our weekly show. Watch Drive It on MyTV.
Pushing me for the rest of the week, so it's like a boost.
Things were really tight.
Today, the way I see myself is completely different.
Welcome back to tonight's show, and our guest for tonight's show is Antoinette. Antoinette, how are you?
I'm fine, thank you, Pastor.
Thanks for coming to the show, Antoinette.
Thank you for having me.
Antoinette, we are talking tonight about having purpose in life. Now, it seems that you did not really have purpose in life, did you?
I didn't at the beginning.
Tell us about it.
So when I was younger, I came from Holland to England when I was 12. And when I came to the country, well, in Holland, I didn't have a purpose anyway because I was too young. And then when I got to the country, I thought, you know, things are going to change for me. I'm going to learn English much more because in Holland we speak Dutch. So it's not really familiar with English and things like that. You have to teach yourself, or you get taught once in a while in school how to speak English. So it was very new for me and everything that I was doing. Like, I think my life kind of started to change when I wanted to fit in with people in school and how different people dressed in England, because it's completely different from Holland, how people dress and how people dress in England, because we wear non-uniform in Holland and in England it's uniform. So it was completely different for me because I was not used to it. So it started when I was 12. I used to get bullied a lot in school, and because of that I would try to pretend to, you know, fit in or act a certain way, or I just couldn't be myself after a while because I was copying other people because I was not wanted. So that's when I think everything just started to, you know, build up. So there was once I went home and we were going to have non-uniform, and because my family, I think when we came to England, my family, my mom and my dad was working a lot, so I was not really able to like speak to them regarding like what was going on in the school, because it was quite different. When I was in Holland, I was able to express myself and say what was happening in school and what I needed help with. But when I came to England, it was just like I was by myself. Like, I will come home, I will eat, and then I'll go in my room and I will not speak to no one. So that's when I started to build a barrier between my family. Like, I was not socializing, I was in my room just not doing anything. So then there was once, it was on uniform day and I didn't know what to wear, so I was in my wardrobe and I said to myself, what am I going to wear? And then I started hearing, like, I started talking to myself, but it was very weird. It was just like a constant conversation, but I could hear someone, but it was like in my own voice, but it was something that I would not say to myself. And then after a while, it just became that particular voice was showing me like what to wear. And when I was younger, I always wanted to like help people. Like, I wanted to be a midwife and help children, for children to feel comfortable to express themselves. So after a while, this imaginary friend that I had, I was speaking to, so I had a split personality whereby I would act in a certain way, but people will not understand. It started, I will be more like that in church instead of being outside. So outside, it was just like, I can be normal, because obviously that's where everyone is just, you can pretend as much as you can, no one really knows you, or you can act a certain way that everyone is familiar with. So then in church, it's like, I will not be in a mood. I used to suffer with bipolar. So one minute I'm okay with you, and the next minute I'm not okay with you. I will tell you what is on my mind, and I will not hold back. And because I was like that, it got to the point I couldn't control myself. So I would try to say to myself, okay, today I'm not going to do this, but then I'll end up doing it. And then after years after years, me being in the church, I just couldn't be normal. I couldn't be sincere. So it got to the point that I want to seek for help, but I couldn't. It's such a thing that I would try to open up, but then I'll say to myself, okay, I was just used to like hearing that voice. It became a normal thing to me. And then when I got older, when I started to get older, it started to get worse. So when I went uni, it escalated. I couldn't control my life no more, because it became like I had a pact with this imaginary friend. So everything that I do, I have to go through him. And if I do not obey what he has told me, things will happen to me. There was a time that I got hit by a bike. There was constant, I was always ended up in hospital for silly reasons. So it got to the point that even my teachers thought I was getting abused at home. So they would look at me like, why is your hand swollen? And I'm like, oh, that's how I woke up. And I wake up with bruises. I wake up with like just things happening to me. Or there will be times I wake up with, I'll go to sleep with hot water bottle, and then I'll wake up and the hot water bottle will be exploded. So my whole body will be with burns. So when I turned 21 to 22, it got so bad that I could hear it, like as I'm talking, like you're talking to me, but it was severe to the point that I was so afraid and scared. So I'll be at work and I could hear my mum calling me. I could hear voices calling me, but I thought maybe it was because where I used to work, we used to have a radio thing around our ear. So I used to think that maybe someone is calling me on the shop floor. But then I asked my manager. My manager was like, I was not calling you. And then I thought, okay, this is a little bit abnormal. And then because I used to talk to this imaginary friend, I started actually talking to myself, like when I'm on the bus, when I'm on the train, because I'm used to it. I've been used to it since I was 12 to 22 now. So it just...
From 12 to 22?
22.
Wow, so it was a 10-year...
constant battle.
And Pastor Christian, normally when people have this problem of hearing an imaginary friend, it is a very difficult situation to be, because who are you going to talk about it? Because if you go to a friend or to someone and say, you know what, I got an imaginary friend, people will find it very strange. Yeah. They will have a hard time to understand you.
Yes.
And then, then the comments, the misjudgments, and no wonder a lot of people who suffer from this problem, they choose to close, they choose to withdraw themselves from the world, and having to cope with it themselves, rather than seeking help out there.
And they suffer in silence, isn't it? Because they don't ask for help for the fear of the judgment, like you were saying. And the interesting thing is that in your case, you can see, even physically, there is something that you can see. You said that your teachers would even wonder what is going on. So sometimes people don't understand this. Those who didn't suffer from this, those who are not going through this, they think, it's just imaginary. It's just, it's just something. But she can see what is going on. She can feel what was going on.
And I think that one more point that is important to highlight here is that she mentioned that, she was attending a certain church, right, and she was still struggling with this imaginary friend, which means that, you see, going to a church, becoming a religious person won't necessarily make you free from your emotional problems.
Right.
And finances is not a religious show. We are not here promoting church, promoting religion. We are here to show the viewer that if they learn to use the power of genuine faith, they can change their lives. Well, we'll go now to a break. After the break, Antoinette will disclose what was the worst moment of her life and how she managed to turn the situation around. Stay tuned.
Time is an illusion. There is only the now.
So now's a good time?
Oh.
She with you?
I thought she was with you.
If it's in the cinema, it's on screen. On screen on MyTV. Get all the recent news updates with France 24. Watch France 24 on MyTV. Football, football and football. More football than ever. Championships and Bundesliga legends are closer than you think with Kickoff. Watch Kickoff on MyTV. Latest digital inventions, cyber concerns and much more uncovered in Shift. Everything you need to know about the modern digital world. Watch Shift on MyTV.
Welcome back to our program, Finding Answers. And before we complete the story of our guest, I would like to inform you all that you can watch our previous episodes, which we have hundreds of them, by searching on YouTube. You can search Finding Answers. Also, if you would like to follow us, we have in Instagram, we have on Facebook as well. Just search Finding Answers and you will find everything concerning our program, okay? And I would like to show you right now a testimony of someone who was, delivered from addiction. Addiction is a very serious problem, and there are many types of addiction. But I want you to watch this testimony because you can see how the person's life can change, how can they be free from addiction by using their faith, okay? And after this, we will be back.
Well, my friends, welcome back to Finances for Addiction. I have someone here in the studio that managed to overcome it. I have a question for you as I bring it every Wednesday. Is there a cure, a solution for addiction? What do you think, in your opinion? Is there a way for a person to get clean and keep clean? There are some kinds of addictions that are based on elements, on the chemical stuff. People addicted to heroin, cocaine, crack cocaine, marijuana, alcohol, these are all elements. There are some kinds of addictions that provokes the same reactions and side effects, but no element is involved. It's the case of internet, gambling, pornography. I have someone in the studio here today that can talk more about this. Let's hear about his story. Hi, my friends. Good evening.
Good evening.
What's your name?
Frank.
Frank. I heard you had an addiction before.
Yes, I used to be addicted to pornography, and this addiction really destroyed part of my life because in the beginning of my young age, I was very close to my family. They trusted me with so many things. And life, I was moving on. I was moving forward. But then there was a stage where I needed more things to feel happy. So I had friends around me that they were involved with, in girls, involved with so many things. Girls were around them. So when I was with them, they would talk about same things that I didn't know, which means they would talk about porn, they would talk about sex, they would talk about same things that I wasn't used to because my family wasn't involved with those kind of things.
Did it create a kind of curiosity about the subject in you, or you were introduced by them like, do it as well?
First of all, I wanted to know what it is. So I remember going to my friend's house. I went to my friends, they're twins. I went to their house and all of a sudden they start playing that movie. So out of curiosity, I asked for the email, the website of it. So when I went home, first time I tried and it looks good. So then I decided to watch it again the next day. And from that moment on, it took over my mind.
So just once you tried, and from that moment, every day?
Every day. Every day, to the point that I will be there, how bad it was, I will be there in my living room, my family will be watching a movie, I will tell them I'm doing my coursework, but here we go, I will be there watching. It took so much time of my life, to the point that it was even affecting my education because I have deadlines to finish my assignment, but here we go, I will be there watching. So to the point that it really affected my mind. So my brother, sometimes I'll be there with my brother and he will be watching TV and then I'll be watching. And then one time I remember really well that I forgot to turn off. So my brother went there to play games on the computer and he saw it.
He was younger than you?
Yeah, he was like 10 years old. So he saw it and he just started watching. He didn't understand what was going on. But then as soon as I got there, I turned it off. And then since that moment, it just, things started going from bad to worse. Because I would watch and I would see my brother out of curiosity also watching it as well. So through my addiction,
you introduced to him the same thing.
Yeah.
How bad were you involved with it? You said, okay, every day, and was already affecting your scholarity and the courses and all.
Yeah.
But how much? How did you say that this took over?
First of all, when I started getting comfortable with watching. I would go outside, and then anytime I would see a lady or a female, I would just imagine what I was looking on the computer. I would just imagine the person doing it, and it really destroyed my mind, because I would go to college, for example, and I would see girls all over the place, excited, doing their own thing. But then I would sit on the bench and I would just picture them doing certain things. So it really destroyed my mind, if I can say that. And that was one of the worst things, because I couldn't even get close to someone as a friend. Because when I have a friend of a girl, I want to do something with them because of the images and the addiction that I have inside of me.
Tell me one thing, were there any moment where you could not lay hand off the computer, could not have the internet or the access, and you had side effects because of this?
Yeah, because there will be moments that I'll go to my living room and it's locked. Because I went there with an intention to be watching porn, and because of the door was locked, I will be craving, I will bombard my parents to give me the key, sometimes they'll be out, and I'll find a way, somehow I'll find a way to watch it. Because it was something I started depending on, and it really also bring a bad effect on me, because I started bringing, if I didn't have the access to be watching, I will bring a female friends to my house, and we will do things together. And that was an effect that I had as well. It was very difficult to control myself.
Can I say that you are being ruled over by this addiction?
Yes.
Every action was going around this.
Yes, because when it took over my mind, I didn't have control over myself anymore. I just do what my thoughts tells me to do.
Well, my friends, as you can see, you don't need to be addicted to an element. There are different kinds of addictions. You want to find out now how Frank managed to overcome and get his mind cleansed, in his own words. Frank, one day things start to change for you.
Yes.
Tell us about it.
One day I came to the youth group and I heard the youth mentor speaking about it. And then I realized that I can be free from this. Mm-hmm. And when that thought came to my mind, I decided to take part of the treatment that they were giving to the youth. And in the beginning, it wasn't easy, but then when I was faithful to it, coming constantly, I start seeing myself being free, going days without not watching, going months without not watching.
What you couldn't open a break before, now you were having the control of your life.
Yes, because of the treatment that they were giving us. Because the youth mentor was telling us that, look, listen, there's nothing that when you put your mind to it, you cannot do. As long as you take control over your mind, you will be able to overcome this problem. So I embraced it, I took on board, and I decided to have a go of it. So a week went by, I stopped watching, and then month, 6 months, and then I realized I was completely free. I realized I have much more time ahead of me that I can do so many things with my spare time. Whilst in the beginning, I would use my spare time watching, even the time that was meant to be doing work or doing certain things.
So I can easily say that you were before wasting your time.
Yes.
And now you know how to invest your time.
Yes.
So how long ago this treatment took place in your life, and for how long are you clean?
I've been clean for almost 8 years. 8 years now.
8 years?
Yes.
But without that thought of going back, because they say that is normal. Men, women, it's normal. But you, with the urge of going for pornography back, you're cleansed.
I'm cleansed. What I have now is when the urge comes, I'm strong enough to say no to it. I don't react to it. I don't submit myself to it, because before, as I said, I would just do what my mind tells me. But now I have this I'm strong within my mind that when the thoughts comes, I manage to get rid of the thoughts.
So in your opinion, there is a cure, there is a solution for addiction?
Yeah, definitely there is a cure.
Well, you approve of it, right, Frank?
Yes.
Well, my friends, there you have it. Someone that made his mind strong enough to control his life. If you are losing for gambling, if you are losing for pornography, for internet, Frank, one lady this week came to ask my help, saying like this, Roland, my husband gives more attention to the phone than to me. Perhaps this is your case. If you want to find out more how you can find help for this, give us a call, 020-7686-6 6300. Let's go back to the studio.
Welcome back to Finances. If you want to give us a call, call us. The number is 020-7686-6300. We got a team of advisors who are glad to hear your problem and offer you a prayer over the phone. With me tonight, I've got Antoinette. Antoinette.
Yes, Pastor.
Let's now talk about how your life has changed. But before we go there,
yes,
please, I and the viewers, we want to know when or what was the lowest moment of your life, the worst moment of your life?
The worst moment of my life was when I started to get sick very often. Like, I was always sick. I couldn't remember when I was well anymore. I started to have this lump underneath my armpit that was just getting bigger and bigger, and I would go to the hospital and they will not know what it was. And then through that, also I lost my job. So I was supposed to go on holiday, but I missed my flight. I wanted to go back to work. They wouldn't accept me. I was failing in uni. I almost got kicked out of uni because I failed. I was failing. I was not designing as I was constantly, like, I started designing, like, because I do fashion and textiles. That's what I decided to go into. I was not producing the amount of work that I was because my mind was not there anymore. I was just lost completely. So after that, I decided to humble myself and to really seek for help that I needed, because first of all, it was just making me tired. I was always sad. I felt depressed. I wanted to commit suicide. Like, I'll be standing underground in like Seven Sisters or Friendship Park, and I can hear a voice telling me, if you pass that yellow line, I'm gonna let someone push you. And because of that, I was just living in fear. I couldn't be myself no more. And I thought, this is not what I want. I can't be myself. I'm being controlled by a voice and something that I cannot see. I've been through this for 10 years now. How am I supposed to express to someone, what I'm going through? People will not believe me. People will think that I'm mental. Or people will say, oh, we kind of believe you because, you're kind of weird sometimes, or you're very close, you keep everything inside. So because I was keeping everything inside, I was becoming ill. And it became a form of, lumps appearing underneath my armpit.
You've been through all these being a churchgoer?
Yes, I was going through all of this.
But then one day you finally made a decision to change.
Yes.
How was it? What has changed? How is your life today?
It was quite amazing. I decided to really be open and seek for the help 2 days before my birthday, before I turned 22. So I thought to myself, I want my life to be great. I want there to be a difference. I just want to change. I don't really care what no one says anymore. So I decided to really be open and didn't care what no one think about me. I started doing purposes for myself, whereby I will just surrender my all, because end of the day I knew how to do it, but I just didn't want to, because I loved the life that I was living, and that life that I loved living, that I was living, was not taking me nowhere. So when I decided to seek for the help and be really open, I started to see my life moving forward. As soon as I'd done that, I received a job, a part-time job within the NHS, and I was really happy because it fitted exactly with my schedule. I was able to do everything that I wanted. I was able to go to uni. I was able to work. I was able to reach out to other, youths regarding, bringing them and telling them about my life story to the church. I was able to just feel free. I was not feeling depressed no more. Obviously, I had battles within my mind, like, okay, you will never be free. Sometimes I would hear the voices, so I had to really hold myself and say, no, you're not gonna control my life no more. I had to put my foot down and really do things to not be changed by this imaginary friend no more. And through that, I was able to seek for God's help. I was able to be open to Him, because I was able to seek for the help. I was able to seek help from Him also. And since then, my life has really changed. I am not, I don't suffer with bipolar. I know who I am. No one has to tell me. I don't dress according to what I feel like, or what my emotions tells me, or what I see people doing, or what I've studied in uni, how to, to consumer culture, to sell things to the public audience, to make them feel stuck in the society. I know who I am, and I'm just free, and I want to let everyone know that when you're open and when you're sincere and when you seek for help and you really know what you want in life and you take the right direction, because there's two ways of life. There's either the life of deceit that everyone tend to go through because we live in a world whereby we act or pretend with the things of the world, or is the other way of life where you put your foot down and you make that decision to be different in this society and add something different to the society. So that's what I decided to do. I decided to add and not subtract from the society, so I'm very happy.
Congratulations.
Thank you also.
Well put. And the same can happen to you. It's just a matter of choice. Let's go to the break now.
The matters of the heart are the most bothersome.
We like to explore in details what people have been through, what couples have been through, so that we can highlight some points.
Learn to love intelligently. Watch Love Talk on MyTV. Meet the amazing SUV Jaguar, the stylish Fiat, a vintage VW, a sporty Honda, and the green smart ED. Drive it, test it, know it. We have cars for any taste. Explore vehicles and their features with our weekly show. Watch Drive It on MyTV.
Do the maths. Changing your life is not as simple as changing your hairstyle, your shirt, or rearranging the furniture in your living room. You're talking about years of deep-rooted habits, behaviours and problems that are not going to change overnight. Many may say, think positively, but the trouble with that is that you can't do or change anything with just thoughts. But add action into the equation and the outcome can be different. Let's do the maths. Positive thinking plus action equals a change. Whatever it is, if the change is significant, if it's worthwhile, then it will have to take time, effort and homework from you.
Watch The Chrissy B Show on MyTV.
Welcome back. We've just heard this amazing life-changing story. Pastor Christian, it is unbelievable what the power of faith can do, as we could see here in the case of Antoinette.
Yes, even problems that seems to be impossible to solve, problems that nobody can understand, can be solved through the power of faith. But then, Pastor Douglas, the nice thing is that we can see that when a person is even inside the church, it doesn't make much difference, because what makes a difference is when a person uses their faith, then things start changing, isn't it?
Of course, and this is what we are going to do now. We are going to use now our faith. It's the moment of prayer. If you can please prepare a glass of water, join us now, because we are going to pray and talk to our God, and He will hear our prayer.
Prepare now for the moment of prayer. If you would like us to make a prayer concerning your family and loved ones, send your name and prayer request to help@findinganswers.tv.
My Lord, in the name of Jesus, we come before your presence this evening on behalf of everyone who is praying together with us, because maybe like our guests, my God, even they themselves don't know what is going on in their lives. Maybe, my Father, their problems are so, let's say, even mysterious. and they are even shy, to share this with anyone. And so they are suffering alone. They are suffering, my Father, in silence. And my Lord, we know that you have the power to set anyone free. When a person comes to you, my God, with faith, when a person prays to you wholeheartedly and asks you to change their lives, my Father, you come down and you answer that prayer. And so, my Lord, we are praying on behalf of these people who are watching us right now, who are actually praying with us right now. Look at their situation, and not only that, look at their faith. See, my God, this faith that is inside of them. Many of them, my Lord, they reach that moment in their lives that they said, enough. I don't want to suffer any longer. I don't believe that I was born to suffer. I want my situation to change. My God, these people who are praying with us with this revolt, with this anger against their problems, please, my Lord, let your power come. Strengthen them not to carry on with their problem. No, give them the strength to overcome all these problems right now. My Father, as your servants, we pass blessings upon their lives, and we say that wherever they are, my Lord, your peace goes there. Your blessing goes there. Your healing goes there right now. My friends, all of you, receive your blessing. Receive your healing. Yes, right now, wherever you are, peace enters your life because God is already working in you. Believe that. Even if you say, Pastor, but I don't feel anything, it doesn't matter. Right now, you receive your blessing in Jesus' name. My God, we bless this water that they are holding right now. And when they drink from it, my Lord, let them drink right now this peace. Let them drink, my God, this healing for their soul in Jesus' name. It is blessed. You may drink it right now. Believe that God is working in you in the name of Jesus.
That's it for tonight. Have a wonderful evening. Stay safe.